organization. So like we go through it. So we all have a kind of domain, right? So some person might prefer C, C++, Python, Java, right? Someone might be familiar with Django, someone might be familiar with Spring, someone might be familiar with machine learning, IoT, anything, right? So what, first of all, to contribute in an open source project, you must select a domain, like, or select an organization with like works on your domain, so that you can understand the code, and yeah, and you can work on the projects. You can understand how the project works, how the flow works, right? So like, anyone has opened the like link?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so like you can see the list of organizations. So you can, first of all, you can select the categories, and then you can select any organization. For example, I'll share my screen. Give me a minute. So my screen is visible, right?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Great. So, suppose these are organizations. So suppose I want to go on this uh, end user applications, right? So I select these. So it sorts anything, like all the organizations which are like end-to-end applications. And yeah, suppose I select Sugar Labs, right? So this is the Sugar Labs organizations page, and these are the ideas, right? No, not this. Yeah, these are the ideas. So what you must do is, yeah, you go through each of the repos and let's see like what languages they support. Suppose this is an music blocks app, right? Like repo. You can go and see like it has JavaScript, HTML. So it's a React project. So suppose you are more towards front end side of things, and yeah, you want to learn more about React. So what you can do is, you can first of all fork this project, clone this project. You know the commands for that, right? And cloning.
Yes, we are.
Great. So you clone the project, right? You create a new branch, and then you go through the issues. So yeah, so to go to focus more towards GSOC, you must like work on some issues of their organizations. Make yourself like a familiar face to the like what say mentors of the organizations, right? So what you should do is like you should like see it, you can see a lot of bugs, right? So go through the bugs. You can like find out the mentor of the like mentors, or the developers main heads of the post, and then you can like comment it out, at the rate something the name, and that you want to contribute to this project, right? So he will like assign task, and like you create a pull request, and then you message to him in Slack or anything. So every organizations have their own IRC, right? So you can join one of them, and then introduce yourself to any of the mentors. Hey, I am like so and so of this college, and I want to participate on GSOC, right? And whenever you create a pull request, you can mention him on the IRCs, and then so that he can pick up the like PR, test it out, and then successfully merge. So whenever I'll show you. So whenever you merge a commit, right? So this thing, your commit gets merged. So this green things, this commit graph gets like greener and greener. So the more green graphs you have, like more better, right? And yeah, so these are the questions given by you. I like go through each one of them, and yeah, then we'll go forward. So how early should we start contributing? So suppose you are in the first year, right? So first year you don't know much about anything, and so what you can do is like after the first year gets completed, right? Like sorry, not the first year, sorry, first semester. Uh, Try to contribute to as much open source as possible, right? And speak up with the mentors, like learn more about the organizations. Suppose, more about the organization and contribute to them. And it should be like before 3 to 4 months of GSOC. Like you can start early December, early November, and then it would be good. Yeah, so the most appropriate time would be like, as I told you, like you can start from December, contribute to more and more projects on open source, try to like learn more about these stuffs, try to create a proposal which is good. And yeah, I'll talk about the proposal later. Yeah, so how well should I understand the code base of a particular organization? So you could, like, if you're interested in a project, like you will automatically understand the code base. Suppose you are working on this sugar lab things, right? As I told you, this thing. So you go through the code, you clone the code, you set up a local working demo, working yeah set up a local working project. And yeah, and then you can see like how each flows work. You can, like, everything works on APIs, right? So you can see like what will happen if I click this button, and then see, walk through the code. Yeah, like if I click this button, it function, and internally these functions are happening. And yeah, so that's how you understand the code. Like it's not key you read the code and understand, you like walk through the code like every time. Suppose you work on this project, right? And you see like it has search functionality, so you search a term and then use a debugger to see what types of things are happening in the front end stuffs or the app side. And then you can see the flow, like how the code is running. So how, like, from a function to function, how it's jumping from function to function, how like each line is getting executed, what variables are being, params are being passed, and everything. So for this, like to understand a code base, you first like have to first you must know like the flow of the code. Yeah, flow of the code. And then you should like create clone the code and set up a working project. Yeah, and set it up in a local system, and then yeah, you can see the flow. That's how I understand the code base. Yeah, we'll get to this later. Yeah, so yeah, there's always a disadvantage. So suppose you are a fresher, right? So you just created a GitHub profile, you don't know anything about coding, but you're interested in open and that side of things. So what you must do is you must start with an open source project, right? So you can pick it from here if you want to contribute to GSOC in some point of your life or later. But yeah, if you don't want to contribute in GSOC, or you want to like contribute to any other organization, you can always go to GitHub, and then you can search like the fields you want to know about or the fields you want to contribute to, and then you can select an organization, and then yeah, the same process, like talk to the mentors, clone the project, see the current issues. Like if you have any suggestions about improvement of a software, like of any project, you can tell the mentors about that, like you can do it. So yeah, they can assign create a ticket, like an issue, and then assign it to you. And then when you create a pull request, or yeah, when you complete it, they'll like verify it and then merge. Like whenever you merge, so yeah, you have contributed to GSOC, like GitHub, right? Open source. So every time you create a commit, right, be it a small one, be it a big one, like you see a normal readme issue, right? So this is a I'll show you. Yeah, so this is a readme. Suppose there's a spelling mistake, right? Beginner. Suppose the spelling is wrong, and you can also contribute it like that. Like you can learn something about it, how a pull request works, and then yeah, a small contributions can also help to understand how these things works. Yeah, so suppose you are familiar with open source, right? And now you want to contribute to GSOC. So what you will do is, yeah, add the same things. So you now set organization like which is listed in this year's GSOC or the previous years. because most of the times the organizations which were there last year, sometimes they are not in this year, and sometimes they are. So yeah, so some of the organizations are FOSS Asia, VLC, ASP, yeah, Sugar Labs. Yes, these are some. There are more, but I know these only. Yeah, and yeah, so these are some organizations which appear here. So you can select any of these organizations, and then yeah, uh, commit to their commit to a project of this, and then start contributing to it. And then yeah, so create pull requests, communicate with mentors, so that will like create an advantage because you know the mentors, right? So suppose a new freshie comes and like submits a proposal, so you are also a fresher, but you know somewhat more. You have talked to the mentors, you have shared your ideas, you have used with them, so that's a better thing. Next, how do I know if I'm skilled enough? Dude, everyone is skilled enough, right? So if you like know something, if you are interested enough, like, you want to contribute, then yeah, you are skilled enough. Just like go through a project, like see how the flow is. See, you will always understand like yeah, these are some bugs. This is the flow, and this is how it should. So yeah, there's nothing in it. Yeah, so the primary reason someone skilled might not be selected, there are two pointers. The one is the proposal might not be good enough, and the second is you haven't talked with the mentors. Like the mentors don't know your true potential, what you can do. Because suppose there are two guys, right? So you have talked to the mentors, and there is another guy who is more skilled than you. He knows better things. He has more greater views, but he hasn't talked to the mentors till now. But you know the like you have some ideas. You the mentors liked it. But if the other guys has better ideas, but he hasn't talked to the mentors, yeah, then how will the mentors know? Yeah, he has a greater potential. So these are the two primary reasons. The first is a proposal thing. The second is yeah, to communicate with the mentors. Shit. Only PR is considered as yeah. So yeah, you can also create issues, but they are not considered as a like what do you say, a contribution, because like yeah, you solved like you gave someone key, you told them ki, yeah, this is the issues, and yeah, uh, this is what you can do to fix it. But you also have to contribute to the code things, because this is a like platform where you should show your skills, like right. So like you could like if you are talented enough to see ki there are some issues and everything, so you can solve it. So yes, there are some other ways also, but yeah, PR is the best to create a pull request. Like this shows that you have some talent, you did something right, like you made the community a better one. So that's how, like that's the main thing, like how you can contribute. Yeah, you can. Yeah, those are also a good one. Like suppose you went to like get a job, right? So you went through an interview process for a job. So first of all, they'll look at a CV, right? So in your CV, you mentioned you are an active member of, you worked on Git, yeah, you contributed to many organizations. So they'll go through your like they'll go through your Git and see, yeah, you have contributed so and so organizations, and yeah, you are an active member of open source, you know somewhat things, you know how to communicate, you know like various stuffs of like coding and everything. So yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, so I'll like talk about it in a second. I'll show you my proposal, and then I'll tell about how to break the proposal into parts and everything. Yeah, like the maximum you can propose, like you can create a proposal is 3. Like you can apply to 3 projects at once in a single year. Yeah, you can qualify. You have to talk with the mentors, and like you can tell them you can show them, tell them your ideas and views, like these are the things. And the main thing about to contribute to this proposals, right? So if you can show it in a proposal that you can do this, you will use this, you will do, you have to write your own whole methods, right? Like everything from scratch to end, what you will do and how will you achieve the end goal. So yeah, you can qualify. Yeah, so like you can merge both of these things. So what you can do is first join the IRC, talk to the mentors, introduce yourself, ki, yeah, and so and so, and then yeah, tell them ki I am familiar with this project, these tools, and yeah, I've seen your projects, and yeah, you can share them your views about the projects. Ki I like these things, and these are some issues I found in your project. Ki this could have been a better one if you would have used some other tools or anything. So yeah, you can. So that's how you approach your organization. So we'll come to this. Okay. How do you make yourself noticeable? We did this, like you join the IRC and have a talk with the mentors, introduce yourselves, everything. How do you approach the mentors? Like if your pull request doesn't get approved or merged even after 5 to 6 days, there might be some issues. Like there are mainly 2 to 3 issues. The pull request might not be good enough because you might have solved an issue, but there might be some issues with your pull request, like a minor issue, minor mistakes or something, or somewhat like that. And the other might be the repo might have been closed, or like no one's there'll be no mentors working on the project at the moment, and the repo might be like stagnant type, like no one is there to view the PR. So what you can do is you can approach the organization and then try to talk to them key you want to contribute, and then yeah, someone might be able to view your like, PR. So competitive programming like isn't required for GSOC, right? So like you must know somewhat of programming, but not competitive. But like you can use a Stack Overflow, Google, anything like you to complete it. Like to create a proposal, you don't have to know everything, right? So what you can do is you can Google key how to solve these problems, and then you can create your own method or use similar type of process to create a proposal. So like it inspired key you should know competitive programming or like more coding is good, but yeah. So what you can start with, as I've said, you can start with December, bond with the mentors in Jan to Feb, and start working on the issues in Feb, March, and April, and then apply on April, May. Yeah, so that's the best thing to like contribute if you haven't started contributing from the previous year. Can anyone explain this question? Like who has written this? Hello?
I don't think this question is relevant to GSOC. So if you want to, you can skip it.
Cool. Eligibility to participate, you must be a college student. That's it. So how to choose an organization? I've told you, like you can see all the organizations in this like page, and then you can it out using the categories you want, and then you can select see each project. Suppose this, you can see what are the technologies used, what are the topics. Suppose someone knows Python fluently but not C, right? So you can go to any this organization which has the technologies select it, view its issues, view the ideas, and then if you don't have any ideas like which you like, you can create your own ideas and then like propose it. Like you can create your own idea too in GSOC. Like you don't have to go with the ideas of the like the which the organizations have prepared for you. You can go and create your own ideas, and then yeah, you can submit a proposal, and then you'll see how to start with open source contributions as a beginner. I've told you like what if there are some like organizations which has minor issues also. So you can about FOSS Asia, right? So you can search for FOSS Asia. Okay, this time there. Okay, this year they are not there. My bad. So you can go to any organization and you for a sample, like if you want to know how to create a PR as a beginner, how to start with open source. So what you can try to find any minor issues in a website which have been listed or have not been listed in these issues. What you can do is you can create a new issue. You log in. I haven't logged in. So what you can do is you can create a new, and then and then talk to the mentors ki, this is the issue and I want to solve it. So what they will do is they'll assign it to you, and then you can create a PR. Then you can, in this way you can start beginning. Some good first shoes. Okay. So we'll look into this later. No idea. What do you mean by competitive programming preparation? Like, can you explain this question?
I think what he's asking is how did you manage your academic discipline with CP and with open source, like all these three together?
Okay, so COVID has been a great help, right? And before that, usually I used to work during the after coming back to college, right? Suppose you might have college till 5, right? So after that you might be free, and college starts at 8 and 9 in the morning. So yeah, you can work a little late, like not too late, a little late, like 11:30, 12, 11. You can work till get up till that, work in any like anything you want to, like you can create projects, work on some open source projects, yeah, anything you like, but like you have to work on something. It's not this is a college life you'll enjoy it. What you can do is you can try to learn as much skills as possible in college, because after that you will not get time. uh, Books, I'll not recommend any books, sorry. What you can do is you can read blogs, right? There are blogs which tells like you can read. I'll show you. You can read some blogs and see how a person, like from starting to end, he contributes to like GSOC and everything. Contribute to GSOC and everything, like how he first got to know the organizations, how he talked with the mentors, how he contributed in GSOC, how he proposal and everything. It depends on competitive programming, and like other skills are different, right? Competitive means you start with a skill, like you try to solve a program as a competitive one, right? So you have a fixed time, you want to write the program in a like such a way it has low complexity, low time and space, yeah, both complexity and all those things. But in GSOC, not everything is all about competitive programming. Wait a sec. Yeah, so it's GSOC is not about competitive programming. It's about how you solve a problem, how you see it, like how differently you do it. And yeah, and also like it's a time limit, right? Suppose you start with GSOC, and suppose it's of 3 months, right? But you can't finish in 3 months, or like you have given a timeline, but haven't stick to that. So at that times, it may also happen ki like they may you out, right? They may tell ki like it's over for you. That might happen too. So it's not like ki it's we don't have matlab, we have time for this. Matlab, there's a time constraint also, yeah. But you have to create a proposal according to that. Ki in 3 months, how much can you achieve in the project? Like we can talk about the proposal in 5 minutes, like in some time, like after this session is over. How early? I've told you like 4 to 5 months. Like it's like before you start submit a proposal. Skill required. No skills, like dude. You must know like Git and like how Git and GitHub everything works. And yeah, you can pick an organization and yeah, start committing to it. Start solving issues. Contribute to it like in any way possible. Great. So I'll like share my proposal and like we can have a session and you can ask if you have any doubt about like how a proposal should work and like how to write a proposal, how to follow, how to create the timeline and how to, if you don't know how to solve a question and how we should like find issues, find those things from Google and then yeah, know about all those things. Visible? Okay. Hello. My screen visible. Is the proposal visible? Sorry.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Great, great. Yeah, so this was my proposal last year. So you write something about yourself, and then you write a project abstract, like how much do you know about the project, like what the project does, and yeah, and what do you know about the main thing, how the project works, and what are the main flows of the project. Then yeah, then you can also write key what are the issues you face using the project and what issues you will be solving in this proposal. So yeah, so this is the project description. So I wanted to solve these three things. Like the first one is to create. There was my project. Yeah, so this was the project, right? So you can see that it's not too like the UI is not great, and yeah, it also says key it has some bug hunt uh, things like bug hunt facilities, but it doesn't, like it's just a panel like button, it doesn't work, right? So like I wanted to create a bug bounty feature, redesign the UI and like fix some existing issues. So I proposed key, yeah, these are the things which I'll do. And then I started writing my like what tools and everything I'll use and how will I solve the problems. So first of all, I started with the DB things. I wrote key, yeah, these are the tables which I'll create. These will be the rows with these will be the columns and what types of variables which I'll be using. And then yeah, I'll like, and then I wrote something more about the description of the areas which I'll be working on. I wrote so yeah, so I wrote everything about those, and then I moved to another the second part of the project. Like a project I wrote about 3 points, right? So every point has more than one things. So yeah, I wrote about those things also, and how will I solve the issues, what tools I'll be using, and the expected result. At the end of the project, yeah, this will be the result, and this will be the things I'll be solving through the project. After writing those, you can add some mockups, and yeah, design everything. Like if you have a backend thing, you can create some sorry, if you have a if you're designing some like backend steps, you can create some flow diagrams. You can tell them this is the flow that you will be following. You'll start from this, and these are the conditions. This will happen if something's wrong in everything. Yeah, right. And then yeah, so after that you will have to write a schedule for your project. These are the phases which I'll be following. So for the first week, second week, third week, I'll be doing this, and after every week I'll be creating a PR to show my progress. And yeah, so earlier in like when I did GSOC, there were 3 phases: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But from this year, I've heard there'll be 2 phases, right? So yeah, so I divided the project into 3 parts, and then yeah, I've worked or created the timeline accordingly. So you will have to timeline for 2 phase. So yeah, create it according. So like at the end of every phase, you must complete the things with goals you have written, because if you haven't, then the mentors might like report it and tell the like there'll be after every yeah, after every race there is a form sent by Google. This is the progress of your students. If they mention you haven't completed the things which you wrote, then you might be disqualified from GSOC. So you write everything about your like goals. From the first week you will do this till the end of the week, and then at the end you can write like these are some questions which you can, and yeah, you can get from like from Google. Like you can write somewhat more, somewhat less, anything. And yeah, you can also like you have to write this thing, how much time will you will be able to commit to the project, because this is a necessary thing. If you are not if you have not got more time to commit to the project, then yeah, you'll absolutely fail. So that thing is this thing is a must key. You have some time to contribute to the project. And yeah, finally you have to write key what are the communication channels you have joined, like the IRC, Slack, anything. That's it. And then we are good to go. If you like if you have any like you can, if you want, I can share this template, and if you have any issues, you can like contact me regarding the proposal. If you have any questions, more questions, you can like ask me. Okay. And or if you want, we can uh, go through some organizations and view some issues, and like we can have a session key. You'll tell me how we can solve the issues and everything, like anything you want. So I'll share my screen, and like we can go through the organizations. Okay, so which category like do you want me to see first? I can't read the,
Cloud.
and I can't read the chat. Now you have to use a mic.
May I go with cloud?
Great. Okay. So like I'll go with Cloud CV. So these are the tools: Python, Django, AWS, Docker, and Angular.
So, Bhaiya,
Great.
so is it compulsory to know all the tools, or if we are like we know Python and Angular only, so we can
Yeah,
contribute to
these
only that?
are the technologies this organization reuse, right? So when you go to learn more, and then you go to the idea list, you can see like there are many projects in this organization, and every project has different kind of like requirements. So you can see it. I'll show you. So yeah, there are 3 ideas. Okay, there are many ideas. So this is the GitHub repo for this. Yeah. So yeah, you you are required to learn Python and HTML. Like mainly it's Python, right? Python based. Great. It's a Django project. So yeah, any questions about it? So you can go through every repo and you can see these are the ideas. You go through the ideas, and then there might be some websites or anything like where the application is live. Mhm. Okay, great.
Yeah, you
So
said something about the debugger thing, like uh, to walk through a
yeah,
script.
yeah. Yeah. So you all of you have college email, right? So what you can do is you can go to JetBrains. Sorry, GitHub students. Have you all got this thing? GitHub student pack? Hello.
Yes, bhaiya.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yeah, but
So go through this, get this JetBrains pack, right? So it has every tools we require. Suppose it's a Python project, so get the PyCharm professional thing. So you will get the serial key for a professional thing for 4 years till the time you're a student. Get that, and then you can use the debugger in that. If you have a backend project, if you have a front end project, it depends. You can use Visual Studio Code too. Like it also has a great debugger. Great, good.
yes, so like debugger means like what?
Okay,
Like if
I'll show
I
you. I'll
want
show
to
you. I'll
see
show you. Okay, give me a second. I'll join through my other system. Then talk on that. Yeah. So debugger means what? Yeah, I'll tell you. So suppose you have a code base, right? I'll share my whole screen so that will be good. Is my whole screen visible? Like if I'm switching my screen, then
Yes, yes, visible.
yes, yeah.
great. So this is my sorry. Wait. I'll like switch on my other system. Okay, I'll explain it. Mm. So what a debugger does is, suppose you have a Python program, right? So the lines. So suppose you are running the program, but you are facing some issues. Okay, but you don't know where you are facing it. So you will apply a debugger here, and then you run the program. So what the debugger will do is, it will stop the program at this point, right? And then you can run the program line by line, like an interpreter, and then you can see the results of every line. Suppose, the number is 7, right? The input is already given. So you go to this line, it checks key, yeah, the number is less than 0, then it goes to this line. It's greater than 0, so it goes to this line, then it checks key number equal to 0, and then it goes to else condition, right? So what in the debugger, if you like create a point at this line, and then yeah, go to every line step by step using the debugger, then you can see the results of every line. Okay, if what does this return, what does this return, and like everything. Shit.
Hello, bhaiya. Bhaiya, could you go through an organization under graphics also? There's a question about it.
Wait, let's see. question about graph.
Yeah, just there's a question about can we contribute to graphics as well? So I think he wants to see an organization under it.
Okay, wait. Yeah, so like Blender, right? It's an open source, great 3D platform. So this is an organization about like graphics, and you can have many other too. CAD, PRL CAD, this Inkscape, like these are the organization, right? Like you wanted to know something else. Hello, who asked the question?
Prajwal, uh, from the first years. Oh, it's all right, I guess. For now.
Okay. Wait, I'll like show the debugger thing. My system on switch.
Hello, Bhaiya,
Yeah,
are you there?
yeah, yeah. Wait. Like this is system like has turned on. I'm joining the session from that.
Hello,
Hello,
Bhaiya.
hello.
Yeah, you are audible, Bhaiya.
Great. यार उसको सुनाइए जरा शायद.
I think so.
Hello,
Yeah. Rachit Bhaiya, hello. I'll call him. I'll call.
Rishabh.
Wait. Hey, can you give me access to share my screen? The laptop, मतलब other one, like the from
Yeah.
which I joined again.
Just one minute.
Bhaiya, while
Mhm.
making
Yeah,
the
given access.
proposal,
Mhm.
like is which one of the two proposal will be considered better? Like one which has a really hectic schedule and a lot of work, or something just a little like less work but innovative and something a little different type.
Yeah. So suppose you said you have two ideas. One in which you have written more things, right? Like more team things, and like the time schedule is a little hectic types. You can do such a like lot of tasks in such a less time, right? And the
Yes,
other
like,
one, and the other
and the
one,
other one is like less work, but it is something like a little out of the box or something innovative that you think is will be fun to work on.
like the idea should be fun to work on, but also it should be an idea which in which the projects also gets a little like
Yeah, related to the project only. Like you said now that we can uh,
create our own idea,
tell the mentor that we want something this type of new thing to be added to this project.
right? Yeah, if the mentor feels like this idea is a better one than the like existing one, so yeah, like this is has the more chances of being getting selected, like the second, like the one which you in which you propose your own idea and like give a better solution than the existing one.
Okay, okay.
And yeah,
Yes.
Bhaiya, one more thing that I have seen
Mm.
some proposals like they have their ideas in the organization, but people start working on that idea still the GSOC has not started, but people start having that idea resolved. So is it like we can contribute to that ideas listed prior to the GSOC as well?
Yeah, you can. Like
Okay.
it's not the you to contribute using GSOC only. You
Mhm,
can contribute anyways. Like you can you see a issue,
mhm.
you can work on that too. But yeah, like that's a different thing to work on GSOC because you're getting credited for that. But while if you're working for like an issue like which has already been created, you are not getting that much credit. But yeah, like that makes a difference.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so this is an HTML project. So what it does is it when we click on this which button? Okay, so when we click on a button, it uh, goes through this, right? Like calls this function. So I'll like make you understand like what happens in this using a debugger. So you press a button and you come to handle submit, right? This is a function everyone knows, right? So what I'll do is I'll create a debugger and then I'll create a point in this thing. Okay, so this is a front-end project. So to create a debugger in this, you just have to write debugger, and then it will create a debugger mode. Okay, right? And if you're working on something like Django and anything, so what you have to do is you go this like this button, run and debug. Then you can select your project type, and then it will automatically create a debugger. So to run a debugger, what you have to do is there'll be button created here, so which will say play. So when you click it, so the debugger will start. So you have to create debug points. So suppose I create a debug points. Whenever I click this function, but I don't know why. So I'll like debug this. So I create a point. So it comes here. So it stores these variables. But suppose I wrote S here. Okay. Suppose like I haven't, but yeah, let's suppose I create a function. I see in form data data are correct, which I've given. But when it goes through here, it sees this thing doesn't have any value. So in a debugger, we can see what are the elements of the form? Like forms is a dictionary, right? So form will be like this. Form is a dictionary. Sorry, is a list of dictionaries. So my bad. So form is a dictionary. Yeah, so form is a dictionary and it will have element. It has elements, not element, right? So I'll see when I do it, I'll see all the variables of form, like all the content of this variable form. So I'll see it has elements, not element. So I'll hover through the part of that thing, and then I can see these are the variables in it. So what I'll do in the debugger, I can see the elements. So I'll change it to elements, and then I'll just rerun it. Okay, I'll remove the points and then again try to rerun. So this time it will succeed. Or what I can do is, suppose a variable is not getting the data, right? So yeah, it's the same thing. Suppose I get data, but the form data is getting empty. That's the same thing. So it sends a request to this URL and then tries to save the file. Since the form data is empty, the file which is returned is also empty. So that's the issue. So you can see, this is the elements. So you will change it to this, and then again when you try to run the code, the correct data will get passed. Wait, let's see if I can run this. Great. So I'll like just add a bug. Yeah. Great. So what I'll do is, so what it does is it creates a this thing creates a presentation from a URL, right? So yeah, I'll add the URL, and so it gives, okay, this thing gives an error. Here I'll just add a debugger. Great. So there are two ways to add a debugger, right? So the first one is you can use this one, or you can use like for this like an HTML project. For a Python or any backend project, you can use this one, like, or the functionality which it has, right? So suppose you enter a URL and it stops, right? The debugger, the program is stopped in this line, in let form.event target, right? So what you can do is you can use the step by step function. Like if you use this button, like you can go to the next line, and if you will press this, it will resume the whole functionality as if there was no debugger, right? So you go to the next line, you can see that this event.target has what values. So yeah, you can see the target is a form, and the form has elements such as the first one is input, the input, this contains the value of anything which we have written in this. Yeah, right. And so we are using those value to like and have and storing that in the form. So currently the form has no data, right? But if you go to the next, see the form has now data. So we can see the values. See, it has the value as where's the value? Okay, so I can't find the value. My bad. So yeah, you can keep where the value is, and yeah, then you can. Great, I don't know. Yeah, so there might be some value somewhere. So then okay, there's a value. My bad. So yeah, the URL has a value thing. So we append it to the form, and then we send the request to this thing parent. So yeah, we can see the step-by-step input of every line using debugger. That's it. That's it. That's how the debugger works. Like there are two ways which you can use. For a front-end side of things, you can use a Chrome debugger or like Firefox, anything you want. And for the you can also use this one, the Visual Studio Code inbuilt. And the other is for the backend side of thing, you can use this functionality which it already provides. You can go to run and debug, and then select the type of project you are working on. So there are C++, Python, anything like which you want. So yeah, that's it. Anything else?
Bhaiya, actually, some people have sent in more questions to Menti. So if you could
Okay, great.
just see that.
Yeah, wait, I'll stop this. Okay. It depends, like where you want to be, like what do you want to do in your later stage of life. For open source, like you can have more skills, but in competitive programming, the skills which you have, you are refactoring them. Like you are trying to solve a problem in a more efficient way using competitive programming. But in open source, you are trying to learn more skills and like try to learn more open scenarios, like thing works, like how a program works in real life. So in my opinion, I don't like competitive programming, because I think what will you learn in competitive programming? Like in an open world scenario, yeah, like in using open source, you learn how a thing works in your life, how a thing works. Like you'll understand the flow, you'll understand the basic structure, you'll learn how to solve a problem using your skills, right? But in competitive programming, you are just like, yeah, I don't like competitive programming. I can't say anything on that. But yeah, like for me, like you have like college is for about like kitna 7 to 8 hours in a day, and you sleep around 8 hours for like let the eating and everything be 4 hours. Yeah, so you can like give anything around 3 to 4 hours in a day to competitive if you are in college. But if you are like outside, like if you have free times, yeah, you can try to give more time, like not a little less, like around 5 to 6 hours, not more than that, because you have your life to like live your. Both looks good. Like suppose uh, yeah, so you have created a project which solves a real life problem. So those types of personal projects are good. So I have seen some people try to solve some machine learning things, like which for which source code is openly available. So those types of things I think are not good in a personal projects. If you're solving something great, like you using your projects, if you're building something a better thing, like anything which is not already built, then yeah, personal projects are good. But if it's like a machine learning project, you are doing something like using some data sets, and yeah, using someone else's code and then try to put it on a personal project, yeah, that things like are not good. Yeah. Yeah, if you have a like experience, so you suppose you know something. Suppose, yeah, I started with Django. So suppose you have a knowledge of Django, you know how things work, you can solve issues, but you haven't ever like worked on an open source project, right? So you have time, you have like around 2 to 3 months, you can try to work on that. Like, that's not a minus point, but if you have time, then yeah, go for open source, try and understand how it works. Yeah, and yeah, so that will make a good impression on the mentors. You had 2 mentors, sorry, you had 2 months, and then you try to like learn something, you tried open source, you tried to contribute to some projects in a little less time. So that will make, I think that will make a good impression on the mentors. Not okay. Okay, I think everything is answered. That's why it's not going below. So, okay, anything else? Like you wanted me to say, but I'm missing it. Anyone?
Bhaiya, I guess there were some questions that were skipped, right, in the beginning of the session.
Which I told I'll like talk about it later, right? That one.
Sorry?
So there were some questions about these proposals, right? So I talked about proposals, right? Like how you should write them, like, and what are the steps.
Okay, all right.
Hey guys, anything else? Where's the chat? Okay.
I
Good
think
question.
they're exhausted maybe.
If anyone
Okay,
has
so no
any
question.
questions, please ask right now. Like he's he's right now here, so you can ask anything about like any help regarding GSOC projects, any how to find everything is
If you
answered.
want my help, like
Yeah.
you can also mail me. But
Yes.
yeah, so currently I'm here. You can ask anything. No
Uh,
issues.
that's so cool. Yeah.
Bhaiya, I think they'll be motivated if you talk about the stipend.
Yeah. So this year the stipend has reduced. Sorry guys.
Oh yeah, right.
So this year, if you complete successfully GSOC, you have a stipend of $1,500. Nothing. You will also get a GSOC T-shirt. No reactions.
Yep. Helping helping other organizations, open organizations, which we get free like applications from them and getting stipend. Like what else we want from them?
Yeah. You also get to learn. Like you can also
Yeah.
write in a CV. Yeah, you worked on GSOC. Like also, yeah, if you complete successfully GSOC, you'll also get a chance to interview for Google directly, direct interview.
Pretty cool. So I guess nobody has any questions right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe they may
yeah.
be a little more interested about like after writing a proposal, like where exactly you submit it, or whose advice
Yes.
do you take?
So what happens is you create an account, right? I'll log in. Shit. Yeah, I can't see it. They haven't enabled the dashboard yet. So just suppose you logged in, sign up successfully, you'll have to fill in some forms, and then yeah, you also have to get a NOC from college about GSOC, like for your participating in GSOC. Then what you have to do is like you will get a like new dashboard for submitting proposals, right? So there'll be three options. Like you can submit proposals for three organizations, and suppose you got selected in any two of them, so you will also like the one you have wrote the first proposal, that will be given a higher priority than the second one. And they are, after selecting for a selecting the getting selected, what you have to do is like you have a 1 month period, right? So you have to like talk with the mentors. Yeah. So this is the bonding period. So after the students are like selected, they have a community bonding period. You get to learn more about your organizations, your projects, your mentors, and then and get and spend time. So for if you get selected, what you have to do is like ask your mentors to create a calendar schedule for every week or every or 2 times a week, and yeah, try to have a conversation with them, how they work, and like try to learn as much as possible about like their life and everything. So everyone is stuck at the stipend thing. Rates, yeah. After that, yeah. So this time, as I've told, you two evaluations. The first one is from June 7 to August 16, and no. Okay. So this period is divided into two parts: June 7 to August 16, and yeah, you have two uh, evaluations in between them. So the first one is 12 to 16 July, and the second one is this one, 23 to 30th August. Yeah, that's it. Anything else, guys?
Any more questions, or should I go ahead and conclude it? Hmm. All right, I guess then.
Bhaiya, can we participate this time just for getting the taste of GSOC? What all happens there?
Yeah, you can. Everyone should try. Like, if you also don't have any knowledge, what you can do is like uh, sign up for this, create a proposal, like learn key how a proposal is made, like try to learn more about the an organization, like a project of the organization. Like suppose you are working for or an organization which are repairing every year, right? So if you are not selected this year, but for the next year you have an advantage, right? Know more about the project than anyone coming for, right? So you can use your earlier proposal too for that one. So for this year, try to sign up, try to write a proposal, and yeah, submit it and see like what happens. You can also ask for reviews from the mentors meeting, so that they can like have a look at your proposals and then suggest some changes they want, and anything they don't like from the proposal, they like tell you everything. Yeah, these are the changes we want, and this one, are you sure? Like anything wrong with the proposal, like they'll tell you.
Okay, Bhaiya.
All right. Any more questions? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Bhaiya, for taking our time from your busy schedule to come assist us on our open source journey. And if you have any questions, then you can go ahead and mail Bhaiya. I believe Bhaiya will be open to questions. And uh, also Bhaiya has a website too, right?
Yeah,
All right.
you can mail me. Like everyone has my mail ID, right? I like tried in the chat.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming. I'll look forward to all of your GSOC accomplishments. Okay, thank you, Bhaiya.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, thank you, Bhaiya. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.